All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you doing? Very well. The beauty about this session is that we started with eating first, so we have the energy, which is good. I saw some people doing some very good calls because some people are going for markets at 9:30 and they have ensured we have opened it up. Thank you so much. I want us to start, and I would request us all to stand for the anthems and prayer, and then we shall proceed on. Let's all stand, and may we have the anthem. Thank you so much. And just before you sit, sometimes we are very quick to do that. I want you to scan around, look at that face you saw last when they were saving their pension quite some time back. I want you to give them a fist. Just 2 or 3 people, give them a fist. Welcome them to this amazing day. Just look around. Look around. Somebody you've not said hi to. Just a simple one. And then once you do that, you can take your seat. Once you do that, you can take your seat. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate really your collaboration and cooperation in this. Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, allow me to welcome us all to this morning, and of course, looking at the annual general meeting of today of the Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund. This is the second one, and we appreciate what's happening today. So today we come together not just to reflect on the milestones that have been achieved, but also to chart a way forward as we strengthen our collective vision of financial security and prosperity for all members. I keep saying that we still have a long way to go. When you look at the numbers, the statistics that are released, when you look at the numbers of how are we doing, when we come to think about how our people are planning for retirement or are ready for retirement. There's a lot of work to do. And so we need to constantly continue to discuss, continue to engage and have productive conversations on that. Very first, allow me to give some house rules. If you need to visit the washrooms, it's on the left upstairs, and you'll be assisted right there. I also understand we have free open Wi-Fi, but nowadays I understand because of data security, it's good to have your bundles, so make sure that you use what is yours. If you really need it, it's open, and you can feel free to log in as well. Also from the security team, I understand there's no fire drill. If it happens where it's written exit, please exit to the farthest that you can. I think the only fire assembly place is at the center there, up there as you're coming in. As we proceed on, allow me to invite Peter Mwaniki to kindly come and open for us with a word of prayer as well, and then we shall proceed on. Karibu sana Peter, let's appreciate him with a clap as he comes. Makofi tafadhali. Welcome Peter.
Okay, shall we pray? Father and our God, we thank you this morning. We are grateful for the gift of life. We want to thank you because you are a good God. It is the reason why you have gathered us here, that, Lord, we may carry out the business of today. And, Lord, we commit the meeting today, every activity that concerns this meeting, we commend it into your hands, Lord. We pray for your favor. We ask that your grace abound, O God, even throughout this meeting, from the very beginning to the very end of it, in the name of Jesus. And Lord, we just want to stand against any spirit that would be contrary to the intent of this meeting. We silence every such spirit in the name of Jesus. And Lord, we thank you because we know that you have had us and you will give us a successful and fruitful AGM. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Peter, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to keep engaging throughout the day, and one of the things that we do whenever there is an AGM is to allow people to interact with the sessions that will be there, from the speakers that will be coming to tell us what they have been doing, especially on the fun sides of things and the likes, but in a way that also helps to ensure that everybody, at least every minute of it, and every question asked, we shall be engaging electronically to help us as well. Also to allow the people who are joining us online as well to participate in it. And so it is indeed my pleasure to also welcome you in to this AGM. So if you don't mind, type on your phone that, slido.com, and the passcode that you'll see there, where there's a hashtag, is fulfilling lives. Once you type in that, you'll be able to get in for us to be able to engage through the day. So please do that. Please do that. And if your neighbor is still on the fork, tell them just a minute, type now. We need you in so we can participate, ask questions all through, and help us engage through that. So slido.com, and the passcode there where there's a hash is just fulfilling lives. Make sure you get the correct spelling of fulfilling. There's a double L there so that you're not logged out. Fulfilling lives, which is the statement when we come to talk about what CPF is doing, what the Taifa Pension Fund is doing, that we want to fulfill lives. So that would be very good. Let me see if we have some people who have managed to log in. And I have a quick question. Who is in the room? Just your name and organization. If you're just here, who's in the room? You can type that in. We'll be able to know who is in. That's the passcode. And for the people who probably passcodes are difficult, you can scan the QR code. There are people here who have, is it iPhone 16 now? There are people who are in those lanes, which is okay, and they can scan from the farthest corners. Thank you, Kabale Sharamo from CPF. Kabale, where are you? You're the first one. I feel like I should give you an extra plate or something. Thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Gilbert, as well. Anthony Mutisi of Laser. I can see Michelle Nyandiko as well. Thank you so much. Someone's name is the passcode, Fulfilling Lives. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony, as well. Thank you, Esther. I can see the Uptack SG is in the house. I know that man. When I hear him, I know there's energy. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Celeste. Excellent. Thank you so much. My sample is about 20. So if we hit 20, we move on. And if your neighbor is the one probably with a phone that doesn't have an ability, just encourage them. Encourage them. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas, as well in the house. And my 20 has been arrived, so I think we can move on. We can move on and do this. Excellent. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Polycarp, thank you so much as well. I can see Felicita from Pola Group of Schools. Kenya Meat Commissioners is represented as well by Miriam. They're the ones who supplied some of the meat we took this morning. Thank you so much. Just checking. And Asante Sana. Wow, this is good. I like their participation. Please note, when you look at your phone, there are two parts of it. There's a place where it's written polls and another one for Q&A. And so whenever the speakers are speaking, feel free to engage through a Q&A. Let me just check again, once again. How are you feeling as we kick off this second Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund AGM? How are you feeling? I want to know how you're feeling. It's just good to check on people. Are the people excited and ready? Some people are just curious. Others are just happy to be here. Others are just focused on numbers. What's happening with the numbers? I can tell one person of numbers here. He was already checking. But thanks a lot. A lot of people are excited and ready to engage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And we appreciate you for coming in here. And I love the word ready to engage. So please, let's engage. That's why we're making this as simple as possible to engage. One more question here. And I like to always engage. It's always good. I like doing these surveys. So when you think about your pension savings, what matters most to you? Sometimes it's good to go personal. Think about yourself. When you think about your pension savings, you've been diligently doing this. The question is, what matters most to you? It helps. So even as the speakers come here, they will not just be saying many things. They will focus on what the speakers are saying. You know, it will be nice. And what the views are. A lot of people are just interested in what? Growing my retirement savings steadily. They just want it to grow. So people don't care so much about updates. But then the money is growing, eh? Excellent. All right. Somewhere close, protecting my contribution from risk? Absolutely. This is very key as well. You don't want to lose all your that. But the majority, this is actually a very big one. When you see the difference, one being 76 and the other close one is 15, it means it's a lot, eh? Yeah. Growing this retirement savings. And I'm sure as we listen to our speakers today, we'll be hearing a lot of that. My name is Maina Chege. I'll be taking us through this day. If you like, you can pick the first two syllables of my name, MNC, and you can call me what? MC. And every Tuesday night, you can see Daktari there. We have this conversation sometimes about what they're doing with these things. So feel free to join in on our Slido to engage through the day and through the conversations. I really would appreciate that. Sometimes I say don't allow yourself to be just talked down to. If a point comes in by, feel free to share it on the Q&A part now. Thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe we are ready to get started. And at this moment, I would like us to get ready for it. I want to request that we have the reading of the notice of this meeting by Isaac Mite, the Group Head, Company Secretary and Legal Services. Please put your hands together for Isaac as he comes to take us through this reading of the notice of the meeting. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, MC. Our corporate trustee, represented by Esther and David. Our group managing director, Dr. Jose Akili. Our service providers, the executive directors from CPF Group, invited guests, members of the scheme, good morning. Good morning once again. Let us turn to our report, the reports that you have just been given. This is the copy. And to what is written as page number 4, you will see 2 members of the Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund. Notice is hereby given that the second annual general meeting of the Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund will take place at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, that is KICC, on Tuesday, 26th August 2025, starting from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The agenda of this AGM will be 1, introduction and opening remarks. Number 2, reading the notice of the meeting. Number 3, reading and taking note of the minutes of the first annual general meeting, which was held on 9th of July, the year 2024. Number 4, presentation of the investment manager's report. 5, presentation of the custodian report. 6, presentation of the financial statements and audited accounts for the year 2024. 7, presentation of the administrator's report. 8, presentation of the corporate trustees report. 9, question and answers. And 10, vote of thanks. And this is by the order of the board. Our corporate trustee, allow me to then go to the next agenda, and that is reading of the minutes for the previous meeting. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see the minutes. You'll be able to read them throughout. And without passing a word by word, allow me to only highlight page 1 and page 2 of the minute of the meeting, which was held at the Edge Hotel, Nairobi, on Tuesday, 9th of July, the year 2024. The first page and the second page ordinarily shows the attendance, the persons who attended, the invited guests that time. Minute number 1 was about introduction and opening remarks. Minute number 2 was reading of the notice of the first annual general meeting. Minute number 3 was a presentation of the investment manager's report, details of which were captured, all the way to page number 4. Minute number 4 was presentation of the custodian report, and we captured the details therein. Minute number 5 was presentation of the financial statement and audited accounts for the year ended 31st December 2023, and details were well captured. Minute number 6 was presentation of the corporate trustees report. Again, a brief report there was captured. Minute number 7 was presentation of the administrator's report, which was done. Minute number 8 was remarks by the chief guest that time. And minute number 9 was about question and answer session, of which satisfactory answers were given. The last minute there, number 10, was vote of thanks. So those were the minutes, and we confirm having captured the vital deliberations for this day for purposes of this scheme. Therefore, I would request that we approve the set of minutes by having a proposer and a seconder. May I have a proposer to approve the minutes? For those who attended this AGM, state your name. Enable that microphone there.
Sorry, my name is Philista Otieno from Polar Group of Schools. I propose the minutes.
Thank you, Felista. A seconder? There is a seconder there.
My name is.
You can proceed, we can hear you.
My name is
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our trustee, that's all I wanted to do for agenda number 1 and number 2. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much. We can appreciate Isaac. Thank you so much, the group head, company secretary, and legal services. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear the reading and approval of the minutes of the previous annual general meeting. I think that's what he has just done. Thank you so much, Isaac. We appreciate that. I'm just flowing because the GMs, we must be very conspicuous with how it is flowing. So we shall then get a presentation of the investments we have been having, and this is from the investments manager's report. And at this moment, we will have Esther Moshai from ICA Lion Asset Management coming to take us through this. So please put your hands together for Esther Moshai as she comes to let us know how the investment portfolio is going. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. At least the weather has started getting a bit warm. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but quite some erratic kind of weather. But that said, and actually trickling into my presentation, the weather patterns are very critical to also the investment strategies. So today the agenda is very simple. I'm privileged to present the fund manager's report. And before I start, the group managing director, the executive director, the chairman of the board of trustees, and the trustees present, and my fellow service providers, and all other protocols already established, observed. Allow me to dive into my presentation, and I'll do it in 3 parts. I'll start with the macroeconomic review for you to appreciate the investment environment you're operating in 2024. That is our review period. And then I will dive into the fund summary so that you can then see whether it ties in with what was actually prevailing during the time, and then give the 2025 outlook. So I'll quickly start. So perhaps just before I talk about the GDP growth for last year, it would also be good to mention that from a global perspective, because we don't also operate in a vacuum when it comes to investment strategies. We look at the global macroeconomic activity and what is really affecting investments from that area, because foreigners are also very critical, as you shall see in the later slides, very critical in our investment, in our portfolio construction and where we invest, even setting the tone for our own local investments. So, and I can say that last year was a very good year when it comes to offshore returns. And that is also very key for me to mention that the investment environment or the offshore markets last year, and as well as our movement in terms of currency, it was very supportive when it comes to the investment environment. So coming to our local markets, starting with economic activity last year, our economy expanded by about 4.7%. And this was a slump from where we were in 2023. And as you can remember, there was a lot of social unrest. And when we started the year, it was quite murky, looking at the currency issues that had spilled over into that year. But we thank the government. There were a lot of interventions last year in first quarter to really try and stabilize, especially the currency environment. There was a lot of speculation that the government will not be able to meet or will not be able to meet the financial obligation when it comes to the bond that was maturing, the Euro bond that was maturing in June. But that was arrested, and we saw our currency actually appreciating across all major currencies. That was very supportive for the economic activity last year, and it was important for me to mention that because coming from 2023, I think it was one of the issues that we really had running throughout the year. So last year, the slump that you're seeing in terms of economic growth was largely because of the social unrest and perhaps some tax policies that were not very, very favorable for business environment. But other than that, we also saw some sectors really supporting growth, and that are the likes of agriculture sector, the real estate sector. They still remain vibrant, even on the back of course, the issues that we are also struggling with. And top of mind is also, we saw the private sector credit growth because of high interest rates environment, really also taking a beating. We actually got into negative territory, and you'll see that in the other slide. But that is important to mention in terms of what really supported growth last year and what we really struggled with. So looking at the macroeconomic environment, last year was a very good year. Again, on the back of all these issues, when you look at the macroeconomic environment, it was very supportive for business growth of business activity, in as much as, of course, the other issues that were hindering growth really took center stage, and especially the political unrest, or rather the social unrest. So when we start with the headline inflation, last year the headline inflation averaged about 4.5%, and we ended the year actually at 3% in December. Very low inflationary pressures, and this is very supportive for growth. That means the price change last year was not as harsh when it comes to then the business input costs. Then perhaps what I can just mention here is that our outlook going forward when it comes to inflation is that it's likely to remain benign. We may not actually experience inflationary pressures this year because, first of all, the international oil prices have really come off on a year-to-date basis, and we still continue to see very muted pressures when it comes to core inflation, when it comes to also inflationary pressures on utility index and such. So again, we are still at below the median level. And remember, the upper CBK target is 7.5. So our view is that we are likely to remain below the upper CBK target because we haven't seen any pressures, but of course there are risks. One of the risks is our pump prices, despite international oil prices coming off. Our subsidy program, or rather our subsidy fund, as you have read, was depleted. So that is likely to cause some pressure, but not to the extent that we have seen before. Then when you look at interest rates, last year we started, this is a very volatile space, if I can put it that way. We started the year when our interest rates were at levels of 18% last year. We actually had a bond that we got at 18% levels. But because of what I mentioned in terms of the cost of credit in the country and the fact that businesses were really struggling, and through government intervention, we saw the CBK really coming in. There's been a lot of concerted effort in Q3. The Monetary Policy Committee started lowering rates to stimulate economic activity in the country because the cost of borrowing was really high on the back of very low inflationary pressures. So it didn't make sense, all right? So we started seeing the CBR being lowered, and there has been a lot of concerted effort to really release money into the economy so that it can stimulate growth. So as such, interest rates across all the tenors, that is all the opportunities or the assets that we invest in, came down. And you'll see this has been very positive for us when it comes to where we have invested the money. So as rates come down, the value of our bonds, whatever we are holding in terms of bonds, the values have gone up. So that is something that is very key to keep in mind. So we have seen that trend continue even into this year. The Monetary Policy Committee has been very keen to really bring down the level of rates within the country. That remains positive for us because we are bond holders. Then looking at currency, I think in 2024, when we started changing to the dollar, the Kenya shilling was quite erratic, very volatile. I think we started at levels of 150 shillings to $1. Again, through government intervention in the first quarter of the year, we saw this coming down quite considerably. And by the end of the year, the shilling had actually strengthened across all major currencies. And you can see even the levels quite in double digits, really impressive. And the shilling has remained very stable, and especially to the dollar, because that is the reserve currency. So that remains very positive. When I was talking about the macroeconomic environment being very supportive for business growth, this is actually one of the areas, because we are a net importer country. And of course, when our shilling is a bit erratic or volatile, it affects, of course, the business input costs. So again, very supportive. And we have seen to date, because of high diaspora remittances, low import demand. That is on the negative side, though. And the fact that we have also continued to get a lot of support from the other national bodies like the IMF and the World Bank, that has really supported even in terms of building our forex reserves. The CBK has been at a better position to really defend the currency, and that is why our currency has really remained stable. You can see the flat, the blue line, that is the Kenya shilling changing to the dollar. It has actually remained flat to date, even in this year. So really, really supportive. And then last but not least, on my first part of the presentation, is the local equities market. And what I can say is that we have really, really suffered, I think, from an investment perspective, for more than post-COVID, for more than 3 years, really grappling with negative returns. But last year, there was really decent momentum. Again, because of the currency issues being sorted out, we started seeing foreigners actually turning back, coming back, trickling back, and there have been very positive net inflows from foreigners. That has also really supported local demand as well. Our local investors, including ourselves, we have also been very sticky in the market and sustained that momentum. So what we can say is that last year was a very good year. When you look at the NASI, we were getting returns of up to 34% last year, very decent returns. And into this year, the market is on steroids. We are having levels that we haven't seen in quite a long time, more than 5 years. So the stock exchange market currently, because of interest rates coming down, there has been a lot of capital flows into the stock exchange market. Very positive when it comes to the investment environment, and really supported our returns. So allow me to, on property, I think this is just for information purposes. So for the real estate sector, I think we saw a lot of vibrancy, especially in the retail segment. There was a lot of space that was really put in the market last year. You can see the kind of square feet, 250,000. And despite also having, though that one should have impacted this year, we've seen, of course, from Trump administration, a lot of volatility, or rather issues that have come, including pulling out support from the USAID program. And of course, that was really supporting our property market. But let me say that we haven't seen a huge impact when it comes to the closure of that program. Actually, I think this month, we've seen the UN actually saying that they are relocating their headquarters into our country. So that, again, is going to support the vacancies that we have seen. But there has been no negative impact to a larger extent. And then the other issues that have always been associated with our property market, where we are undersupplied on the low segment, we are oversupplied on the high-end, the commercial segment. That still remains. And I think there has been a lot of effort even by the government to try and really put out supply into the low-end segment through affordable housing programs. So that remains, of course, the kind of trends that we are seeing in the property market. Allow me to then now move to the fund summary, after just giving an overview of where we were last year and our outlook into this year. So when you look at the numbers, last year, again, for the fund, it was a very good year. We had very huge inflows, and from an investment perspective, also got very decent returns from what we have invested in, from the assets we have invested in. And as such, our total assets for last year came to about 903 million. And 903 million, and when you look at the allocation, it's usually very important to remember one of our objectives is to ensure that we invest within the investment guidelines that have been given by the Board of Trustees, as well as the RBA limits that are also a guidance into how we should invest. We can't just wake up as ICLI and asset management and invest anyhowly. We are guided by the principles that are set out in these documents. So our allocation is as shown there, and our commitment is to ensure that we mine as much as possible. We have heavily allocated to the bonds asset class because last year was a good year. It was a year where we could get bonds to the levels of 18%, 16%. So it was very important for us to lock in those good gains for the long haul. So that is what has contributed to the kind of returns that we are getting. So as we get the inflows, we've been trying to ensure that we optimize in terms of our asset allocation and how we are locking in those gains before rates come off quite significantly. So the fund return, after factoring the expenses for the period, was at 13.76%. Then I think I've really covered the outlook bit. Perhaps what I can just add here is that in terms of economic growth this year, and that is what has characterized the trends in the market, it's the cost of credit. Because we have a very stable macroeconomic environment, this is one area that needs to be worked on for the banks to pass through, to transmit the benefit of having lower interest rate environment to the larger economy so that it can stimulate growth, and so that then the companies we have invested in can, of course, give us decent earnings results. But that said, I've mentioned that the stock exchange market has been on steroids. We are actually having returns so far on a year-to-date basis at more than what we achieved the whole year last year. So like the NASI last year, the whole year gave us a return of 34%. We are currently at 35% and still growing strong because of the demand that is still remaining very sticky, that is sustained in the stock exchange market. So this might potentially be another very good year, maybe even better than last year, if you are to put it that way, from an investment point of view. So another good year again, which is quite a reprieve. So that is our outlook, and that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that presentation ended on a very good note. I had one word. This year equities are on steroids. I like that. Let's appreciate her one more time. Yes, we believe that we shall have good returns. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much for that, Esther. Let's now get to our custodians, and we shall have the presentation from the Standard Chartered Bank Kenya Head East African Cluster. That's Rachel Wambari. Please come over and take us through the custody report. Welcome. Please appreciate her with a clap as she comes as well.
Good morning. Morning. We are well fed. Good morning. That's much better. So the Group MD, who is also the scheme corporate administrator, the corporate trustee, CPF management, employers and members of the Taifa Pension Fund. Thank you. My fellow service providers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. As introduced, my name is Rachel Wambari from Standard Chartered Bank, and I have the great honor to attend this AGM. It's the first segregated AGM for the Taifa Pension Fund. In fact, I was grappling. I attended the other one out of town, and I didn't see Taifa on the agenda. So this is the first segregated AGM, and it's a pleasure to be here. So in terms of who I'm representing today, in terms of the confirmation of the assets, as we get to the end of the slides, I will also provide, the confirmation of the portion of the fund that's taken care of by Ken India, and the bulk of the assets, we have the honor of taking care of them as Standard Chartered Bank. So in terms of our role, We'll cover, our role, our obligations as a custodian, and of course, if there are any comments and questions, we will take care of them at the question and answer session. So what is our role? Sometimes I keep getting asked, you just hold assets and you're paid to do that. But we do quite a bit in terms of taking care of your funds. When you listen to ICA Lion Asset Management, they have the overall responsibility of doing research and taking the decisions on where to invest funds on a day-to-day basis. And once they determine where they are going to invest the funds, then the role of the custodian kicks in. So we have the broad responsibility of securing those assets and of course implementing the decisions that are undertaken by the fund manager, of course with the corporate trustee oversight, and ensuring that once the decisions are undertaken of investing those funds, then we ensure that any form of evidence, whether it is electronic or digital, we ensure that it's safely kept and secured on behalf of the assets we are holding for the fund. And then second, there's a component of asset servicing. If there's a request to disburse funds or to pay out members, pay out service providers or any other component of funds leaving the scheme, we have the mandate to ensure that we discharge those funds with instructions. But overall, members, our responsibilities across all the transactions we process on behalf of the fund, across all the decisions that we take on instructions, is to secure your funds as a custodian. Our role is anchored in the retirement benefits regulation. So in terms of us holding assets, we do not determine where the funds are investment. So we have clear lanes that we stick to. So the model allows transparency so that in the event that I'm the custodian, I don't determine where the funds go into. That is the work of ICA Lion. And of course, this protects your assets in the sense that if the person that is holding the purse does not determine where the funds are investments and are invested and vice versa, the fund manager only has access to the assets based on the instructions that they share with us, and we implement those instructions on a timely basis. So a quick run through in terms of core responsibilities. Of course, key one is securing your funds, transaction settlement, moving money in and out of the scheme accounts that we have opened, and to confirm that we segregate those assets out of all the clients that we provide this service, and most importantly, from the bank assets, so that in the event that Touchwood Standard Chartered was to close shop today, then the Taifa pension fund scheme assets will be comfortably be transferred to another appointed custodian bank to be able to hold those assets. Income collection, this fund has exponentially grown since it began. So in terms of our key responsibility for the custodian is to collect every shilling that is rolling in for the fund, ensure that if we have any corporate actions, AGMs that the fund manager needs to attend, or any form of representation that they need to take, then we implement those decisions and help the representation of the fund in those key forums. Of course, foreign exchange, where the fund will require that, and of course, reporting to the corporate trustee, to the fund administrator, and to the other service providers that we work with across the management of the fund. We have to be licensed by the Central Bank of Kenya. That's the anchor licensor for banks in the Kenyan market. And then riding on that is the Retirement Benefits Authority together with the Capital Markets Authority. I had earlier on indicated that one of the key components that we must demonstrate as a custodian are the books separate, are the assets separate from that of the bank specifically. And we can confirm that to you and give you a reassurance. We do ensure that, contributions are coming in. Apologies there, that should not be lab trust, that should be Taifa Pension Fund. And then also we report to the corporate trustees, keep proper books, and maintain technical capacity to ensure that we don't rely on memory. We rely on platforms where we track all the transactions that we are processing on behalf of the fund. Now, the anchor entity there is Taifa that contracts both the custodian and the fund manager, just to ensure that the fund is safeguarded in terms of the contractual arrangement. So the corporate trustee, of course, the sponsor. There's a sponsor, the corporate trustee. Then we have legal documentation, just to ensure that the fund is protected in terms of how we conduct ourselves as a service provider. Now, at this point, which is the most critical point of confirming the assets under custody as for the financial year end 31st December 2024, and as I had earlier alluded to you, is that we also have included the guaranteed portion of the fund. So for the financial year, we confirm assets for the fund at 907,910,000, and we closed the year with a bank balance of 335,000. We had call and fixed deposits valued at 68.083 million shillings, equities of 20.389 million shillings, offshore investments of 10.699 million shillings, government securities of 803.9 million, and guaranteed investments of 4.495 million shillings. So I'll pause there and just give you members reassurance that we have discharged our mandate as your custodians and continue to secure your assets even as they continue to grow from the last date of the financial year. And so I'll pause there and happy to take any comments or questions at the Q&A sessions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Please keep securing our assets. Let's appreciate that one more time, Asante Sana, for that report on that. Ladies and gentlemen, in the same breath, let's move on now to the part where we get to also listen to the trustees part, presentation of the corporate trustees report. I want to request Esther Kariuki from KCB Asset Management to kindly come as well and take us through this. How is the management of the assets going down as well? Karibu sana, Esther, take us through. Let's appreciate her, please, with a clap. Asante sana.
Good morning. I hope we are all well today. I see it's an all-ladies affair so far. So we are taking over the world. And of course, where women are, then your household is protected. So, yeah. The group CEO, the executive director, CPF management and staff, distinguished guests, members, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It is with great pleasure that I join you today at the AGM for Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund. On behalf of KCB Asset Management, the appointed corporate trustee, I bring you warm greetings from the KCB Group. We extend our best wishes and reaffirm our unwavering commitment to supporting the firm's mission of delivering dignified retirements to members. My name is Esther Kariuki, and today I am joined by David Gitao, who represent the corporate trustee. David, just stand so that, thank you. So we are the corporate trustee of the Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund, the appointed corporate trustee, and it is a joy and honor to be part of this journey, and I sincerely thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I will not belabor on the already presented presentations. I know the most important part of any AGM is to know the returns, which Esther has very well put forward. So I'll just briefly just reiterate what has already been presented. The key highlights for 2024 was that the membership of the scheme grew from 507 in 2023 to 833 active members. Also, contributions rose sharply by 696 million compared to 73 million in 2023. As well, benefits went up to 8.7 million, which were paid promptly to exiting members. Also, the net assets under management rose to 907 million compared to 73.9 million in 2023, which is a 12-fold increase, which I believe is very significant for this scheme in just under 2 years. As well, the fund had a gross return of 13.76%, and the investment portfolio was prudently diversified. As per the IPS and RBA guidelines. Also, in compliance with the Retirement Benefits Authority regulations, we had 58.4 million that was credited into the members' accounts in 2024, an increase from 1.1 million in 2023. Of course, our main duty as corporate trustee is scheme governance, and as such, as trustee, we held 4 constituted meetings in 2024 to oversee the fund's operations. We also onboarded in the last quarter of 2024 an approved insurer who is Kenindia Assurance Limited to enhance the fund's investment and risk management framework. We also held sensitization forums for the scheme in February and October of 2024. And we also held an AGM combined with the other schemes on 9th of July in 2024. And all operations were fully compliant with RBA guidelines. I would also like to appreciate the service providers of this scheme, who are ICA Lion, Standard Chartered, CPF Financial Services, Kingori, Kimani and Company auditors for their professional service to the scheme. And most importantly, I'd like to appreciate you members and sponsors whose trust and foundation are paramount to the growth of this scheme. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the strong performance of Taifa Umbrella Pension Fund in 2024 demonstrate what is possible when good governance, prudent investment, and member-focused service come together. As trustees, we remain committed to transparency, accountability, sustainable growth, and ensuring that every member enjoys a dignified retirement. We are proud of the strides made so far, and with your continued support, we look forward to even greater achievements in the years ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. God bless Taifa Pension Fund, and God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Esther Kariuki, KCB Asset Management Limited. Asante sana. And I love to appreciate the fact that the news is good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now get to the presentation of the financial statements and audited accounts. And Kimani and Associates, represented by Joseph Kimani, is going to help us in this. So, Joseph, karibu sana. Please let us know about the financial statements and audited accounts. This guy's really laugh, but he's smiling today, so I think could be a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The ladies have set the bar quite high. To the corporate trustee, this is the first gentleman to do the presentation. The MC, my name is Peter Muiruri. Joseph is my colleague, but I'm representing the whole firm, Kingori Kimani and Company. We are the auditors to the Taifa pension. Now, normally, we just go through 3 lines, which just tells you that the accounts are good, but the organizers have requested that today, being the first, I think it's the first AGM that we are having separately from the other bigger funds, that I take you through the numbers so that the members can actually get the feel of what we are talking about when we talk about the growth of the fund. So I will take you through 2 statements. That is the statement of changes in net assets, the one that we have started with. We'll again look at the statement of net assets, that's ordinarily the balance sheet, which shows us the financial position, and then I'll do what I was supposed to have done, that is read the opinion to the members. So the one that we have on the screen is the statement that shows the performance for the fund. The one that shows the contributions, the benefits that were paid out, the income that was earned, the expenses that were incurred, and then finally what was the net effect. So the contributions for the year, you can actually compare with the 2023 comparative if you look at it. Remember, the scheme is new, but looking at the performance page, it's actually growing quite fast, and that can be reflected by the 696 million of contributions that came in the year 2024. At the end of it, you'll actually see that those contributions are the ones that have mainly driven the growth of that, the fund. So the benefits that were paid during the year were 8.6 million. So the net addition from dealing with membership is 687. Another important part is the return on investment. You have the investment income, the 70.5 million. This is realized income, money that was earned and actually deposited or earned and credited into the fund, the 70.5 million. And one may actually ask, then if the scheme is 696 million contributions that came in, and if we are talking of 900 million of the fund, then why do we have that type of income, the investment income of only 70 million? Now, it depends on when the 696 contributions came in. They were not there throughout the year. And that is why, despite the fund growing quite fast to 900 million, then the investment income is 70 million, because the contributions were not there for the whole period. They came in later, close to the end of the year. So the year that we are in now, when we are reviewing for next year, then you are going to see quite a lot of changes when it comes to the income that is earned by the scheme. And again, on disposal of investment, 6.6 million. Fair value gain of 86 million. That's another line that shows the performance of the asset, purely because of the upward rise of the share prices at the Nairobi Securities Exchange and the board's valuation. So that is 86.5 million, shows that our investments, particularly the bonds and the shares, were performing well in the market. The expenses for investment management, purely what is incurred for fund management and custodial service. So gross returns, 162, and the expenditure is as shown. All other expenses are grouped together, administrative expenses, totaling 13.9 million, and the income tax expense of 5.9 million. So total expenditure, 19.9 million. So that takes us to a net return on investment of 142.1 million. So that is how the scheme performed, increasing from the 73 to 903 million. So basically you have seen that the growth was driven by the contributions, and I did mention that that growth does not reflect directly to the income that we saw because the contributions came later at the end of the year. And those contributions will be felt when they are fully invested in 2025. So this statement, the net assets, is actually the balance sheet for the fund. Just shows us what are our assets and what are our liabilities. You saw these being confirmed by the custodian, and also the fund manager talked about it when they said the bulk of those contributions that were coming in were actually being taken to the treasury bonds, and they were valued at 803 million, and the total investment portfolio was valued at 907.5 million. Of course, with that diversification from the segregated to the guaranteed investments, that was 4.4 million, which is managed by the approved issuer, who is the Ken India Assurance Company. So the balances that were treated as current assets, some receivables and prepayments of 110, contributions that were yet to come in of 15 million, and the small balance there of 335,000, which was in the bank. Being a balance sheet, the liabilities that were carried by the scheme were all expenses that were incurred by the fund, but that had not been settled at the end of the year, 13.2, the balance of tax of 5.8, and some little benefits payable of 135,000. So 19.2 million was our liabilities. And the net current liability is simply the current assets less the current liability, which for a scheme really is not a concern, whether it is a liability or an asset, because we are not a trading institution. But most important part is the net assets available, 903 million. That was the fund value for the Taifa pension fund, as at that 1st December 2024. So that is how the numbers look like. The scheme is growing quite fast, from 73 million to 903 million. But as we have seen in the previous statement, it's purely because that growth within that year was mainly because of the contributions that came in. But those contributions now will be fully invested this year, so we expect again the growth to be even faster because of the income and the contributions that are coming in for the year 2025. Finally, I would want to confirm the audit. This is a main thing for us as auditors when we attend the AGM, to let the members hear the opinion that we give the trustees before they signed off the accounts, and simply a confirmation that we audited the financial statements of the Taifa Pension Fund, which comprise of the two statements that I've taken you through, plus the statement of cash flows and other notes, including a summary of significant policies. Our opinion is that the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Taifa Pension Fund as at the reporting date of that 1st December 2024, in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards, and that the reporting is also done in the manner required by the Retirement Benefits Act of 1997. I would like to leave it there and say thank you for listening to me. If there is any question, then we are going to be able to handle it later on during the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that the accounts are good and set. I'd like you to just breathe a bit and relax. All is well. All is well. All is well. It's important that so far there has not been any shocker, but only good news, is it? There you go. And I think someone said here that when the ladies are in charge, the house is well. And I think it's working. It's working, as you can see. Thank you so much. I think we want to transition now also in the same breath to product presentation. And I think it's a good one from Director External Pensions Administration, George Okioma. Please put your hands together for George as he comes as well. The man of products. Welcome.
Good. Thank you. Our Group MD, CEOs present, members of the scheme, service providers, our corporate trustee, good morning. I'll just take you through the Taifa product. We believe Taifa is a product in itself, but just for the few minutes, just for the attention of the members, just to really appreciate what this product is all about. And I call upon all of us to really share this good information to our colleagues, because sometimes I think they lack the information for them to be able to support and take advantage of the scheme. For your information, Taifa is an umbrella scheme, multi-employer scheme, part of the CPF group of businesses that we operate, and that's where it sits within the governance framework within the group. But more importantly, it is a pension scheme, a defined contributory pension scheme, with contributions which are, of course, at varying levels depending on the ability of the institution to support. But just for an appreciation where Taifa sits, just go back again, that's where it sits. And I know you can take advantage of one or two of the products which we have as a group. CPF is a group of organizations, a group of companies. We have our Lab Trust, which is our oldest pension scheme, a defined benefit scheme. We have a SALI, a Sharia compliant pension fund, we call it SALI. We have our county pension fund, which is a defined contributory pension scheme for employees in the county governments. We have our trust fund, which is called Mwamba Trust Fund, and we would highly encourage members present and employers present to take advantage of the trust fund that we have, that takes care of the vulnerable families who are left behind in the event of the demise of the principal member. We are able to save aside those benefits for the purposes of the paying bills, school fees, and upkeep for those members. So please take advantage of that. I know these things happen in our lives, in our institutions. Know that you have a solution in the event you are faced with such an eventuality within your institution, where and how to pay those benefits out. Of course, we also have our CPF Capital, which does transaction advisory services down here. And we also have the subsidiary or other subsidiary organizations, LIB, which does the insurance brokerage services. You can take advantage of that. We have our property services led by our ED. They are here. Laser Property Services. I know you could be having any consulting work around property. Please call on us. And of course, Lights, which supports us on the ICT business. So we are a house of many products. Please reach out to us. We should be able to support you quite a lot. And of course, Rukisha, our payment service provider, subsidiary, and our CFAM, which does the investment arm for private individuals. I know organizations here, you run gratuity schemes. Please, we call upon you not to know that you have a home for your gratuity arrangements. If you don't know where to invest those gratuities, please reach out to us. We have a solution and we are already doing that. So in terms of our experience, we want to confirm to you that you are at the best home in as far as pension administration is concerned. We must say we are one of the most, the largest and the best in the market in terms of pension administration. We've invested heavily in terms of infrastructure, in terms of people, to make sure that we give you excellent services in as far as your pension services are concerned. So with those big membership, it calls upon that as an institution we have to also invest heavily making sure that we don't fall back in terms of service provision, and that we are continuously supporting you and your journey towards retirement. Currently, fund values over 300 billion, which 350 billion under assets and administration, and a membership of 600,000. We would want to commit here that we are committed to the growth of the Taifa umbrella scheme, and our aim is to grow it to at least 100 billion maybe over the next 6 years. And we are calling upon you to support in the sense that your institution, as you are employing, we remember you have the option of the NSSF Tier 2 contributions. We are always at hand to support you comply in as far as NSSF Act is concerned. The process of contracting out, we've supported most of you, and if you are having a challenge in that respect, please always call upon us, such that we have your NSSF Tier 2 sent to your Taifa umbrella scheme for purposes of investment. You've seen from the fund manager and the corporate trustee true testament of our returns, double-digit returns, and we are optimistic from the look of things. Take advantage of that steroid environment, and also push the Taifa scheme to even bigger and higher returns than we did last year. And all of this, you will see them credited into your accounts when we give your statements. So in terms of, just go next. In terms of the product, Ken, just move next. In terms of some of the clients whom we've been able to offer services to, that is just among us the list. I know we have a number that's growing, but we highly encourage you to take advantage. But just the key features of this scheme is really the ease with which it's helping you to basically take advantage of the tax advantages which are provided for. But the normal pension administration services which we do is the regular one, in terms of liaising with you for purposes of keeping records of the members, processing their benefits as members exit, and ensuring that we give the statements, credit the income. We do the accounting function, which you've seen here, as confirmed by the auditor. We prepare those accounts for audit and facilitate that audit. After the audit, once trustees have approved the accounts, then we distribute the income, which then you can get it in form of your statements. Okay? We are always ready, as is mentioned, in terms of trustee support. We have a dedicated call center in our office and the team which is working 24/7 to support on any claims which could come in. Any challenge you have from an HR payroll perspective, in as far as these deductions are concerned, please always feel free to reach out to us. We make sure that your members are getting the service they need. You are able to report to your employers in terms of how the scheme is performing. We've established, where appropriate, pension committees in the respective institutions, such that we are able to give you this feedback urgently and timelessly. Any changes which are happening, we always bring them to your attention through the regular sensitization. Should you need any, if you are unable to wait until our scheduled presentations, scheduled sensitization, we are always ready to come and sensitize members. If you do a mass recruitment, we need always to make sure that your employees get this information firsthand and immediately. Then they are able to start planning for their retirement immediately they are employed. So any changes which are happening, we want to make sure that staff are actually brought up to speed in as far as those changes are concerned. Okay, next. We must say we are one of the unique institutions, always agile in as far as innovation is concerned, bringing about new ways of doing things, making sure that our staff are able to access their benefit statements, both online, on the web portal, on our WhatsApp channels, which are available. And all of these are linked through our ERP system. That's why you are able to dial in. You can access your statement either through USSD platform or you log into the website, you get your password, one-time password, you are able to actually see a statement of your contributions, as well as an annual benefit statement. One other thing we've managed to do as an institution is to make sure that all claims, all paperwork in our institutions are, all of them scanned, and we run a paperless environment. That way it also helps us to not to run through files whenever a claim is being done. For example, you want to raise a claim, we make sure that our electronic document management system is linked with our pension administration system to make sure that the process is seamless and also very fast. I think this is just some of the windows we have. The opportunity, for members, the access portals we have online, and also through your mobile, you can actually access your benefit statements. And of course, the other one is just then to use this kind of a forum. Next time, please encourage more of your colleagues to come in, and it's a good education forum for members to get information about their scheme. We do SMS alerts for when contributions are credited. Members are able to get those alerts to make sure that they are kept up to date on their scheme, just to acknowledge that actually your contributions have come in. So those notifications do come in. Is basically part of the engagement with the members. But that notwithstanding, through our call center and through the WhatsApp service, you are able to also interact with us continuously. We do encourage biometrics, records. Remember, as time goes by, you could have joined when you were young. By the time you are, in retirement, a lot has changed. So we keep records of those biometric records. That way, we are able to make sure that your identity is still the same. And so this is basically for member verification and also to aid when we are processing your claim. So whenever that is required, please could request that you cooperate in terms of giving that information, and it will be used for that purpose. For your information, as CPF, we are data protection compliant, both as a processor, in terms of compliance with the Data Protection Act. So we are compliant in that respect. The data you give us is specifically used for the purpose it is intended for, and that is only for purposes of pension. We don't use this information for any other purpose. Okay. I think I mentioned on the WhatsApp that we have that number is very critical. Just go back. That is the WhatsApp number. You can interact with us. If you start that conversation, we already have standby agents who are able to call back to you and interact with you in as far as your pension queries are concerned. This scheme now, since the introduction of post-retirement medical regulations, it is compliant in that respect, and we are calling upon you to dedicate some portion of your savings towards a post-retirement medical fund. Remember, currently you are enjoying a decent medical cover for your employer. In the event of your exit, remember you will be on your own, and especially on retirement. So it means pension money alone may not be sufficient to support you in retirement, and so therefore we've established a PRMF. It's a voluntary scheme for now. Please set aside some funds. Remember, these funds also enjoy a tax relief which came in of 15,000 per month of worth of contributions is tax exempt. So take advantage and contribute to your PRMF. You have an opportunity to accumulate that fund. You can see the kind of returns which you are posting. That fund will come in handy when you have retired or when you have exited the business. The income drawdown also exists as an alternative to annuities for those who would want. So please take advantage of it. When you are exiting the institution, we will be able to take you through all those options such that you are able to make a decision. Remember, the benefit at retirement is such that whatever you have saved, 1/3 of it will be paid to you as cash lump sum, then 2/3 is available for you to choose either through an income drawdown or an annuity which will be purchased for you. We mentioned about the Mwamba Trust Fund. Please have it somewhere. Know that in the event of demise of your colleague or anyone in your institution, Mwamba Trust Fund will always come in to help you and to help you make those decisions. Even when families are deciding there are feuds in the family, transfer the money into the trust fund. It will still be safe. We pay school fees and upkeep for the minors who are left behind. We do run, of course, risk management for pension schemes, a regular exercise. Pension schemes are now, the regulation is intense by the time, by the day. We are supposed to make sure that we are compliant in all those policies which come in and not only compliant, but we have to live by that which the trustees have approved. And we review them continuously and timelessly to make sure that we are taking care of the scheme in as far as any adverse risks that the scheme may face. And we keep checking on the risk mitigation measures that we've put in place and how effective they are. Of course, as a business, I think for your comfort, we have a dedicated redundancy system that in the event we have a challenge at our head office, we are able to continue serving you even from an off-site place that we have our backups. So there is business continuity plan which is efficient, tested, that we are able to work in the event we have any issue within our head office. So just for your comfort. Just then to come to a close in terms of our innovation, we highly encourage those people who would want to make additional voluntary contributions. We have our Save As You Spend plan, which we can talk to you, called Rukisha, where then any small amount you spend, a portion of it goes automatically to your savings. So up to 2% of what you spend goes to your savings automatically. And then at the end of the year, these funds earn interest. They are available for your access, either in the pension scheme or access towards any other savings that you would have wished to take advantage of, like holiday, school fees and all that. So we've seen it. It has really helped and worked in where we've deployed it. So if something of interest, we would highly encourage you to reach out to us. We see how we can help you. And then generally, basically, to help all of us have the culture of saving every other time we spend, have a program in which you can save. The more savings you have, the more you will have, of course, even at retirement or at the point of leaving, or just to alleviate any financial pressures that you may face. Okay. I think that I've mentioned. Just go next. Of course, we have our other than the in-country reach, we are now having other branches and other, pension schemes we support outside the country, in South Sudan and Uganda. But locally, we have 9 branches. We are able to reach out to you. For those organizations which have branch network, we want to tell you that we have branches across the country where your staff can actually reach us without necessarily coming to the head office. So, and all this just meant to make sure that we are as close as possible to your members, be it member sensitization or any queries that members may have. We want to make sure that we have that presence. These investments, all of them were done long ago because we foresaw this, and those investments are now bearing fruit. In terms of service provision, especially for employees who have a countrywide reach. Okay. Some of our awards, just as testament to our performance, are as indicated there, and these recognitions are really because of your support as members that we've been able to achieve those recognitions in the market, in the industry. And they come in handy, and they just don't come like that. It's because of the recognition that we've received from our CEO, who has received recognition, to our subsidiaries who have also received recognition in terms of service to our clients. Okay. So in terms of legislative changes, just to finalize, members, these changes came in basically to support. The changes do come in every year, at least every year, or every other time the industry feels that something has to come in. Some changes have taken long for them to come, and we are glad that as of today, these changes are now in place. And it's good to know what they mean for you as members. That's why we are sharing them with you. That now going forward, all pension schemes that are being set up will be defined contributory pension schemes, DC schemes. DC pension schemes, that means at retirement you must have a monthly pension coming through, just to be able to replace the income you were earning before retirement. And even where there were provident funds, they have been given at least a 5-year plan to convert from provident funds to DC pension schemes. All eligible employees are now to join so long as you are on PNP terms. Employees on fixed-term contracts are also allowed to transfer their gratuities into the pension scheme. Employees may also, voluntarily of course, but then they can remit. That option is there, and they can also take advantage of the changes which have come in through in as far as the gratuity taxation is concerned. Pensionable emoluments. The pensionable emolument, of course, is clear now. That is the salary used to determine the excuse me. And the rate of contributions, of course, shall not exceed 2 times. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. In terms of the rate of contribution, the employer contribution, of course, that was set a while back, that you cannot exceed 2 times. That is employer contributions. We always encourage employers to, if budgets allow, please go for the maximum, okay? Why go for 7.5, 15 when the law said go up to maximum? You can do 10, 20. And I've seen a number of institutions actually take that route. If budget allows, and you can try and push to your boards, the more your staff will get, the better. That I can tell you. It does not make sense that one group of employers in the government are doing 10, 20, another lot is doing 5, 10, and all of you are funded from the same exchequer. So try and see whether there's some scope there and take advantage of that. Death in service benefits. The benefit will be provided through an insurance policy purchased from a registered insurance company and shall be a minimum of 3 times. So you can provide that insurance benefit, the risk-based benefit, insure your employees through the pension scheme, send the premium into the pension scheme, and the pension scheme can take that insurance cover on your behalf. There's a tax advantage to that, and that you can see. And let the schemes then provide for those benefits, including disability benefits, plus the quantum. So every other time, I want to make sure and to mention to you that those provisions are provided for in the Taifa umbrella scheme, but they are elective, you know. It's not blanket. So if the institution then has chosen, then we'll make sure that we've provided for it. Okay? Ken? The other, of course, the retirement age, that is now clear, of course, is 60 for now, and early retirement age shall not be less than 50. The aspect of commutation, up to 1/3 of cash. Scheme expenses, all of them have to be met from the scheme, and it's highly now encouraged that employers should meet the cost of setup of any pension scheme they may want to. Taifa umbrella scheme is already set up, so we would encourage that employers who would want to join, it's a plug and play. You know, it then saves you the rigors of paying those fees you can see there. You just join in, and we are not even charging goodwill because the scheme you can see is posting very good returns. So you just join in and, you know, take advantage. That's the benefit of joining an existing scheme. You take advantage of the economies of scale that have already been established. The post-retirement medical fund, as I mentioned, has been given tax exemptions previously from 5,000. That has now been increased to 15,000 per month. So are the pension contributions. We used to have 20,000 Kenya shillings per month. Now it has gone up to 30,000. Remember, if you don't take advantage of those tax exemptions, then you're losing out. And that is the best way to actually manage your tax, which otherwise then they will be taxed on the PAYE rates by KRA. So take advantage, make more contributions. At the very least, utilize all these tax reliefs which are available. I think I mentioned in terms of conversion of the provident funds over the next 5 years, we see that converting into pension. So please know that you are saving for retirement, and the purpose is just to support you in retirement. I know some people say, why should I wait all that long? Who told you I'm going to get to 60? But you are here, and you will still go to 60 and beyond 60, and that life needs to be supported. The worst case is you are in your 70s and you're broke. So we say you are financially ruined. It means you can't meet your living expenses. So pension then comes in to support you and support that life and that lifestyle you had before you retired. Okay. I think I've fairly mentioned in terms of those exemptions which have been provided for. But just to mention on benefits for payment to retirees above the age of 50, or rather age of 60, if you retired at age 60 or 50 years for early retirement with 20 years of service, then those pension benefits are now tax exempt in totality. That's a big relief, and I think we should appreciate the government for this effort. Not many countries have this kind of exemptions. Not many. They are very few. And for that to have come through, I think it's a big relief for the pensioners or for anybody leaving the scheme. But I can tell you it's not even more punitive if you left before 50 or before 20 years. I think you pay even more higher tax than was the case before. So if you are planning to exit, think again. You'd rather defer those monies until retirement age, because the taxation now is even heavier if you left before retirement age than before. I think that's what I'm mentioning. Look at number 3, those exemptions which were there of up to 60,000 every year, they are no longer now applicable. They will not be there. They have been deleted. Instead, what's in blue down there is what's going to apply, and you can see it is very heavy. It's very easy to get to the 30% income level immediately, just after two checks, and most people will hit the 30% taxation bracket if you left before normal retirement age or less than 20 years of pensionable service. So all of that is basically meant to protect your pension money which you are to earn. So don't be in a rush, but if you are willing to get that hit, then that is what you will face if you access to your money early than retirement age. So keep working, keep saving, and then you will actually enjoy those reliefs. The last one, of course, is the issue of the tenure of office for trustees, which has been revised to 5 years, and I'm sure that only affects the trustees. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and I would strongly urge you that you please take advantage of the PRMF and the tax advantages which are now in place to actually help you save more in your retirement kitty. Asanteni sana, and I look forward to more questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's appreciate it. There you go. Quite something. I think what stood out for me is says. Does anybody know what says means? Anybody? Anybody who's not from CBF? Anybody? Going once for 100,000 shillings? Going twice? Look, now people are ready. Kenyans, save as you spend. I think that's a good one. in a way. Even when you're buying something of 50 bob and it asks you something, you save something, because people and saving for their retirement, I think the report says it's not as easy. Thank you so much for that. And allow me to just break a bit of the monotony, and I want to ask you to stand, stretch, in your own way. Don't just kick the neighbor though, and then sit. Please stand. Please stand. That's the first thing. I should have just done that. Stretch in your own way. We have sat for over how many minutes? I think over 90 minutes. So it's important. It's a medical requirement as well. Then you can take your seat. After that, you can take your seat. It allows the blood to go where it's supposed to go. There you go. Remember, and I appreciate the people who have been helping us with this. So if you don't mind, Ken, you can show us up the Slido, because there's so many questions that are coming in, and I can assure you at least some of them are also being answered on the go. So Ken, if you don't mind, could you show us that? Could you show us that? That would be very important. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I've also been told something by the media team here that if I don't do, it will be a mess of my KPI before we come to the closing from our president. So I asked you to stand, to look at the person sitting next to you in a way, and probably if you're in a table like this one, a table of men only. How are you, gentlemen? I just wish you well, because we're about to take a picture with each and everybody. So if you're going to take a men group photo, it's okay. It's okay. But feel free to walk around and take with another. So please walk around, take a selfie with someone. It's a KPI. I have to do this. The digital team is at the back and they're waiting for. I like that man. He has decided I'm not taking a picture with men. So please do that. Take your phone, sir. And madams, take your phone, take a selfie. We want to tell the world that the AGM has happened. Please do that. And what is the hashtag? I need to be told the hashtag so that at least we can flow. There you go. There you go. Please do that. Are people taking the pictures? It's only the president taking. This is not okay. Or people don't have smartphones. Just check in. Just check in. I will walk. I love that. I love that. And if you need to stand to take it, it's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's also a way of breathing in. Thank you. There you go. There you go. There you go. Thank you for the questions. But I just need to go to just go back a bit, 2 slides back, so that at least we can show where it is. I think it's, there you go. Yes, I think it's that one. Slido.com is where you're asking your questions all through. There you go. I'll tell you what to do with it, because I'll be showcasing the hashtag so that at least we can do that. There you go. So remember to ask all your questions, because we shall open up the Q&A. And I love that people have been asking the question. Just to remind you, that's why you ask your questions. All right, there you go. Thank you so much for that. So ladies and gentlemen, I think this has been good so far. I'll tell you what to do with the pictures. And thank you for all the questions. You can see they're coming, thinking fast. I appreciate that. People asking about who qualifies to be members. Others are talking about presentations. Others are talking terminologies, DC, DB. All those kind of things, and we shall be answering them. And I want to request our presenters as well, if you can see some of them addressed to you directly, also on the slide, or just check and prepare so that we can start moving fast enough on the go. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to now get to the session where we listen to our Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Jose Akili. It is in the house. Please put your hands together for him as he comes to do his presentation and to let us know on overall, he has listened to all those people. How are we doing? Are we still on good steroids to creating further and much more wealth? Karibu sana, Daktari.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much, our good MC, Mr. Maina Chega. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning, yes. It's a beautiful morning, a little bit chilly, but I think it's warming up, and with the good crowd we are seeing here, I think the future is bright for our Taifa, our national scheme. So, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed members and beneficiaries of our Taifa Pension Fund, our service providers who are present here today, our stakeholders and partners, the members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it's with immense pride and deep sense of commitment that I stand before you today on behalf of the CPF Financial Services and indeed the corporate administrator of the Taifa Pension Fund, but also on behalf of the group, CPF group. I know we have just received our annual report and financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2024, which has been a very rewarding report because it shows, I don't know if you are to do multiples in terms of percentage growth from roughly around 73 million shillings at the beginning of the financial year to over 903 million at the end of the year. I don't know how many times that is. Our financial analysts can do the numbers. This past year has been fully a pivotal one in our journey, marked by a significant growth, enhanced stakeholder engagement, and the steadfast advancement of our long-term goal to secure dignified retirement outcome for all our members. And this is a very unique scheme because it is the real hybrid scheme. It's the real rainbow scheme. It brings in thousands and thousands of people from diverse backgrounds, from public sector, private sector, NGOs, churches, or the religious institutions, Islamic finance managed institutions, and generally everybody. It's the most inclusive institution in our country. I want to say I'm very thankful that a vision I had some few years ago has actually come to be in what we are now witnessing as Taifa. Since its establishment in 2022, the TPF has grown into a trusted retirement solution for employers and employees across the country. In 2024, we recorded substantial progress, being the first full year of operation with active membership rising from 507 members, those are individuals, in 2023 to 833 members and deferred membership of 40 in that first year. Our net assets grew almost tenfold to 903.8 million, reflecting the confidence our stakeholders continue to place in us. And the confidence is growing. I really want to thank my team, particularly the teams leading from the front, our business development teams led by Raymond B. and in terms of retail, as well as Maniki in terms of corporate, for really working day and night to grow our members. Despite the prevailing economic concerns, I'm pleased to report that the Taifa Pension Fund achieved a commendable return of 13.7%. You know, this is surprising because for those of you who are in the investment sector, you know, 13.7% is actually the average rate of our treasury bonds in the market now. So you can imagine to achieve this one, it means that the actual gross return is slightly maybe above 16%. And it's not easy to achieve that over a financial year. So I can proudly say that we are likely to be the top performer scheme in this market for now. This robust performance is a direct reflection of our prudent investment approach, which is constantly guided by sound governance principles and strategic assets allocation. Thank you very much, our asset managers. And we are going to challenge you more. ICA, and I think we have just brought in another institution to start from creating another level of growth, and that is SIB. Is SIB in the house? I thought I saw my good friend. Yes, I believe they are here. And we also have, so we have ICA Lion. I've just seen them, they were here. So we really are going to we are going to demand, actually. We are not going to ask. We shall demand the topmost performance. We are on an international competition, no longer national. So we have remained fully compliant with the Retirement Benefits Authority investment guidelines and have continued to diversify our portfolio across treasury bonds, fixed deposits, offshore investments, and guaranteed returns, always prioritizing both growth and astute risk management. I challenge our investment managers to think beyond that and begin to explore opportunities in alternative asset classes. We want you to be very robust in your research so that you identify opportunities even in private equity, either directly through our companies in the market which are making big money. We must be where the money is, and the money is in these companies. Sometimes I ask myself, if we can invest in other investments in the market like, beer-making companies like EABL and others, which are really making good money, financial institutions which are investing in and giving interest returns and non-interest returns. We have another phenomenon which is going on in our country, and I ask those companies which are actually doing something called betting. I would like to hear from our investment managers what they think about those high returns those companies are boasting. Usitudanganye kwamba where all our agencies are putting their money. Don't you think you need to align yourself to where those agencies are thinking? Don't be traditional. If people and the ladies are investing in Jamas, where they lend money to each other at some very interesting interest rates, which if you calculate the returns, I try to convince my wife, who is a member of a certain Jama, who shall remain unmentioned, to bring their money to our wealth management, a business which we run here. And she calculated the returns we are giving and compared to what they charge each other and said, you can't compete. So I'm asking myself, isn't it time we consider some of these opportunities? And I'm very serious with you guys. Don't teach me that there cannot be another economy which is operating and we are not taking advantage. So don't tell me that SportPesa the other day gave 400 million to a young man. How might remain behind for them? So if we are a shareholder in such a company, I don't know. I'm challenging you guys. I'm not an investment analyst, although I'm an honorary one, but you guys are sleeping. Throughout 2024, we maintain and indeed enhance the high standards of corporate governance and regulatory compliance. Our corporate trustee, KCB Asset Management Limited, diligently conducted our 4 quarterly meetings, ensuring continuous oversight and strategic direction to the fund. We successfully conducted numerous member trainings, education sessions, reinforcing our commitment to financial literacy and member empowerment. I'm sitting next to a corporate trustee, the most beautiful lady here, called Esther. And then it came to my mind that KCB, which formerly was set up in Kenya in a different name many years ago, is one of the oldest banks. That institution is more than 100 years. It's actually older than us, unfortunately. You don't know. Laptrust is close to, we are almost 100 years now also. But KCB, unfortunately or fortunately, is older than us. But they are our corporate trustees. So what does it say about the choice of a trustee? So I want to thank KCB for being our trustee. Keep on doing the good work. And we are going to work with you across the region. You see, we are going to other countries, and KCB is in most of those regions outside Kenya. Kenya, I want to challenge Kenyans. you can't lead by, Kenya is already taken as a leader in the region, in Africa. And anybody who is not thinking of venturing outside Kenya as an investment destination is just, you're sleeping on your rights as a Kenyan, because you are already taken as a leader. So if you stay at home and think and create at home and think that home is the best and there's nothing outside there, woe unto you. Opportunities are passing you by. So I'm challenging even some of our institutions here who are members of this scheme, state corporations, think bigger. If, for example, you're not being allowed opportunity to grow in Kenya, unless there's a law which stops you from growing your business in another country where you're wanted, go there. And of course, we shall be there together. So I challenge us to think bigger. Our robust partnership ecosystem continued to strengthen significantly in 2024. Again, ICS and management have done a good job. I want to mention also our custodians, the formidable, one of our longest working relationship has been with Standard Chartered Bank as our custodian. I want to pigia wa makofi kabisa. Yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot fault in the way they do their thing. So you can see our choice of partners, KCB, Standard Chartered, ICA Lion. Hapo ndio tuko, si ndio? Hata sisi ni mchezo ama namna gani? What do we say about CPF group? Are we okay? Yes. We are a force to reckon with, si ndio? Haya. We are particularly proud of our cost-effective fee structure. Although so much work is going on behind the scenes by all these service providers, none of us is taking undue advantage of the scheme members. And that's why you can see from the cross returns, the net returns are high because we are taking as just a small bite just to make sure that we are providing good services. Ladies and gentlemen, as we progress into 2025, the Taifa Pension Fund is exceptionally well positioned for continued growth and sustained success. Our strong financial foundation, coupled with an experienced and dedicated management team, Team CPF, I want to see them standing. After all, we are now also members of Taifa Pension Fund. Sindio? Team CPF, congratulations to you. Naona hawa ndio wanafanya kazi na kazi wataifanya, si ndio? Thank you very much. Sit down. We will continue to focus intensely on expanding our membership base across both public and private sectors. Na tuombi we have no apologies to make. We are a national pension fund. What's the translation of Taifa? Taifa is what? National. That's underline the word national. Is there anybody else apart from us who is called national for pension? Other than NSSF, of course. And we are here, NSSF is our big brother. Lakini sisi tunaenda sambamba. So this is the alternative scheme for your Tier 2 contributions. And we always say, the advice from more risk managers says, balance your portfolio, si ndio? Weka ingine pande hii na weka ingine ingine ikichomeka ingine inabaki, si ndio? So put money in Taifa as you put in NSSF. Si ndio? Weka kwa NSSF, the national lump scheme, na ingine Taifa, and you will be safe. And I want to say that the most important thing, apart from our risk management and prudent risk management framework, which we have implemented, technology has been a major, and it's going to be a major enabler for all our activities. Technology is going to be a big role. In the next AGM, it's my hope that not only will we be having embedded in our systems the most modern technology to run our systems, but also we will have embedded artificial intelligence into the whole system. We are moving to the next level. We are leading from the front, and artificial intelligence is going to be embedded into our technology. We are also going to find a way of also moving our records management to blockchain technology. The people who are listening to me in my team, that is not a suggestion, it is instructions. Senior, implement what? AI, and also what? Wapi watu wa ICT hapa? Blockchain, unanisikia? Because we want to make sure that our members' records are accurate, not even a iota of doubt. So, Mr. Okioma, blockchain is, if it's not going to be provided by our own lights, it must be there. Come rain, come shine by next reporting. Blockchain technology embedded into our system for records management, and then artificial intelligence. In the next dispensation, we are going to have our members having engagement at the first priority level with our AI agents who are going to talk to you just like me, I'm talking right now here. That is the way we want to take you. We don't want you to say, I'm waiting online for this natural person. If we are going to grow our numbers to over 100,000, 200,000, 1 million members, it's not possible to have enough staff to serve everybody. So we are going to have AI agents as our customer service points. And chatbots and all those are going to be part and parcel. And I'm saying to you, although I come and I grew up in a different period of time when these things were not there, but I'm a fast adopter to this modern technology. So before I close, I want to really applaud a number and mention a few of our ever-growing list of corporate institutions and who are our sponsors of this scheme, starting from some of our earliest entrants to the Taifa. I don't know whether we have representation from Paula Junior School. Do we have Paula Junior School? Wonderful. Congratulations. Nice. Do we have Nairobi Center for International Arbitration? Nairobi Center for International Arbitration? Okay. Do we have Veterinary Medicine Directorate? Veterinary Medicine Directorate? These are some of our early entrants to this scheme. Of course, we have the CPF group. Mpo? Very good. And then we do have Nyeri National Polytechnic. Do we have Nyeri National Polytechnic? Nice. Hawa watu wangu wa Nyeri motoni wazangu hawa. Very nice. You know, Nyeri has been leading in many things. In water companies, one of the best run water companies is Nyeri Water. Sindio? So you can see kuna mambo mazuri kutoka Nyeri. Pamoja na kuangalia mlima, sindio? Kenya Meat Commission, KMC, Nyama Choma Tele. Good, congratulations. Do we have Skyline Sacco? Okay. Do we have Siaya Institute of Technology? Wako mbali sana, I know. They are online, wonderful. Thank you very much. Do we have Kitale National Polytechnic? If they are not here, they should be online. And I hope somebody is taking a room. Do we have Autobook Kenya Limited? Autobook Kenya Limited? Autobook? Yes. Do we have SIB, Standard Investment Bank, as an employer now in the scheme? I believe they are there. Do we have Psychological Health Services Limited? The rest I can just read. Yes, if you are there. National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya. Hey! What was nomadic education? Thank you very much. Yes. You can see we have diverse groups here. Cove Hotel Kakamega. Cove Hotel. Are they around? Wonderful. Thank you. Kileleshwa Covenant Community Church. Kileleshwa. Okay. Tandaza Trust. Nursing Council of Kenya. Yeah. How do you want to regulate nurses? Yeah. Friends College of Research and Technology. Certified Public Secretaries, Capital Registrars. Shamberere, National Polytechnic, Shamberere. I hope they are around. And then we have several churches in the North Rift, starting from Tarbo AIC District Church Council, all the way to AIC Sosiani District Church Council. And then now, Kenana Nitas is one of our members. National Mining Corporation. That's our state corporation, National Mining Corporation. That is an institution which is going to be one of the richest institutions in the future. Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. And then we have members who have just joined recently, and now these are mostly parastatals. Kisumu National Polytechnic, Rift Valley National Polytechnic, Kisiwa National Polytechnic, Kieni National Polytechnic, Ngabune Technical Institute, Machakos Institute for the Blind, Togozo Teachers Training College, St. Mark's Kigari Hembu, Mosoria TTC, Presbyterian TTC, and last but not least, Kagumo Teachers Training College. Able to become a coffee, these people who have recognized Taifa as their scheme of choice. So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to our team members and participating employers for the invaluable trust you're going to place in the Taifa Pension Fund. Your confidence fuels our dedication to better service. To our custodians, the auditors, investment managers, corporate trustees, thank you for your diligent stewardship and unwavering commitment. I want to say that as we step into the future, we reaffirm our solemn promise to deliver retirement solutions that not only secure tomorrow, but also inspire profound confidence today. Together, we are building a future of financial dignity for all. Taifa ni yetu sote. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much. Maina, are you a member?
Yes.
Are you a member?
Yes, I am. Even by blood.
You have to be inside.
Yes, absolutely. Let's appreciate the MD and CEO. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and he's asked me whether I'm a member. By the way, everybody here, I hope you are. I was not speaking on anybody's behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, George is on the laptop. Yes, and he has already replied to about 6 of the questions. Thank you so much for the 20 questions and more. We are encouraging people to do that. You see, when we ask them electronically, on the go we ask. Some people asking personal questions. How do I transfer this to that? Those are things that we can as well answer. I will be calling in the company secretary for the adoption of what has been said. But just before I do that, as he comes, you can be coming slowly. As he comes for this adoption side, and then we can now allow some of the questions. But this is what I want you to help me with, because of time. This is what I want you to help me with. If you have asked the question or you're still on the Slido, there is a thumbs up somewhere there where you can click to tell me that this is a very critical question. We must answer this one, you know? Yeah. So it helped me from your end to choose what is the most critical questions. Please check on it. There's a thumbs up. Click on it so we can be able to know what are the most important questions for the day. It will help us on that. Karibu sana.
Thank you, MC. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard about the financials or the numbers that have been given to us by our service providers, led by the auditors, fund managers, and the custodians. And therefore, we would like, as a matter of good governance, to adapt the same. I would request for a proposer and a seconder. This only signifies that we are agreeable to what was presented to us. May I have a proposer? Yes, I have a proposer there. A name?
Dr. Homer Stephen from Psychological Health Services. I propose.
Thank you, Dr. A seconder?
I am a Maxillian, Kitale National Polytechnic.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting. Thank you so much.
So much, Company Secretary, for that, and even for the proposers and the seconders. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see your votes. There's a question that has already they have 4 votes on, so 5 actually on the go and the likes. And so, George, I know you were typing and answering some of the questions, so I think a mic will be coming closer to you. And you'll also be helping me to identify who should answer this if, for example, is one of the fund managers. So the question is this, one of the ones that has been voted a lot, that does the new circular on pension tax exemption affect the 20-year membership rule for tax-free access to benefits under the Income Tax Act, regardless of age? George, I want you to help me in terms of letting me know who can help us with these matters. Does the new circular on pension tax exemption affect the 20-year membership rule for tax-free access to benefits under the Income Tax Act, regardless of age? That's a critical question. I don't know who's going to take that. Please pass the mic. Pass the mic right here. If you don't mind, you can walk closer here. You can walk closer here so that the camera persons can have an easy time and the online persons can as well be able to help us with it. In fact, come up here so we can have a section on this. Please keep voting. It helps a lot to help us know the most critical questions.
Thank you very much. Of course, I think most of you know me. My name is Joseph Rono. I work as a Senior Group Executive Director for the group. So in terms of the new circular on taxation, it actually makes it better. It did not delete what was already there. So if you've been in the scheme for a period of 20 years, all your entire benefits will be exempted as you exit, but of course, as long as you're exiting after 50 years, after the age of 50. So there are 2 things which will give you exemption. If you are retiring at the age of 60 on the dot, your benefits will be exempted. Or if you're exiting early, that is after the beginning period of the early retirement is 50 years. So anytime between 50 and 60, if you are exiting around that time, and you've been in the scheme for 20 years, then your benefits are also exempted altogether. But anything outside that, those benefits will be taxed. Thank you.
Excellent. And just before you go, probably you might be the one who will answer this question. It has been voted as well. Is that what's the difference between the Taifa fund and the prior CPA fund? And what are the advantages of transitioning? It's just a random question. It has been voted as well.
Thank you. Yeah. A Taifa fund, of course, is a scheme for all sponsors, especially outside the county government space. Of course, as a CPF group, we've been known for many years as administrators for pension funds in the county space, and also even before that in the municipalities. So Taifa Pension Fund is then a scheme available for all sponsors who would want to have an arrangement for their staff to contribute money for purpose of securing their retirement. So it's for
any other sponsor all over the country who want to put their members. In terms of the importance of transitioning, I think the beautiful thing is that there's full alignment in terms of all sponsors outside counties. These are individual sponsors who perhaps remit money on time, no challenges. So in terms of the mechanics of managing the scheme, it makes it far much easier. Thank you.
All right, just one more, and then we can close. It's actually a combination of two which have been voted. I have only selected the questions that you have voted. So listen to this one. Someone had asked, can you provide more information on the benefits of those over 60 and with 20 years of service? But a similar question as well is, would like some more clarity on how benefits are treated in terms of tax once a member retires early, between maybe 50 to 59 years of age. Could you clarify that? And then we close. Yes.
Maybe perhaps to re-emphasize what I had already spoken in terms of how your benefits will be treated.
Yes.
If you retire early at the age of 50, again, remember the 20-year rule. If you've been in the scheme, and not just Taifa, if you transited the service from another scheme into our scheme, that period will be recognized. So as you work towards, in terms of making your benefits being tax efficient, if you had some service which had accumulated in another scheme, and you perhaps want to exit anytime between 50 and 60, you can transfer that service period, which will help you then accumulate easily perhaps the 20-year period. In terms of the kind of benefits which will be paid after retirement, of course our benefits will be split into two. 1/3 will be given to you as a cash lump sum, and then 2/3 will be used to secure for you what we call a lifetime annuity. In other words, salary. Remember, as you exit employment at the age of 60, you are used to that pay slip, isn't it? So we need to give you another pay slip starting from the age of 60, and assuming you live for another 60 years. If God is very gracious to you, then we will need to give you another salary, which will now be in form of annuity. So that 2/3 will then engage either insurance company to provide you that, or we can even go to a drawdown fund to get you that. So those are the kind of benefits.
Thank you so much. But this one also was voted and was asked immediately when you talked. Can one continue contributing to the fund after getting to 60?
Why not, George?
Okay.
I think you can come and speak to that as you tackle any other question.
George can tackle it.
I think there are many questions.
Yes, so I think you have given an answer. You're saying yes.
Yes.
You can continue on.
Yeah, why not?
There you go. Please keep contributing until you're 70, 80, 90. God gives you 100. Keep going. Keep going. We need to take care of you in your retirement, right? Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Rono is very quick to exit the stage, yet he's the one who's going to give the vote of thanks. But maybe he wants to sip some water. Allow me to just read some quick answers here. Listen to this one. Someone already asked about the sensation meeting. All members are invited. Sensitization meeting. All members are invited. Another question has been answered as well. Who qualifies to be a member of Taifa Pension? Any employee or any organization that doesn't have a pension arrangement. So if you're still there on the slide, you can be able to read all the answers being given by the technical committee led by George. So feel free and don't log out, because through the day as well, we shall be able to answer any question that you ask. It will be live and helping you to do that. All the fund managers here, everything else. And I believe somebody else was asking, can the presentations be shared? I believe it will be shared out in terms of the entire report. There you go. And so before I invite the vote of thanks for the session, I just always have this one moment to ask. Probably there's somebody here whose phone died and they could not type a question, or technically survey is an issue. Are you there and you had a burning one and you wanted to raise your hand for me to give you a mic? I'm counting once, twice. Nobody. Everybody here was tech savvy. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So please, can you see what the technical team has displayed? I didn't even ask for it. Remember that picture you took? That picture you took? Please share it on all your social media handles, whether it's LinkedIn. I think there's a generation here of Facebook as well. There's another one of Instagram. Please share it. That's the hashtag Taifa Pension Fund AGM. Especially if you took a picture with a member of the opposite sex, it's important to share it immediately. So that you have an easy time later on answering why you have a picture with the person who is not known in the home you live in. So share it, share something. If I was you, I would already say things are on steroids here at Taifa Pension Fund, and then you put the hashtag. All right? There you go. So Rono, if you don't mind, please kindly come and give us a vote of thanks so we can close this session. Let's appreciate him as well as he comes with a round of applause. Karibu sana, Rono. Karibu. Please make use of that hashtag.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do the special vote of thanks. And allow me to start with our Creator, Almighty Father, for having set aside this day and made it possible for us to give back our scorecard to our members. To our group CEO, GMD, if it was these Gen Zs, they'll say umecheza kama wewe. Umecheza kama Yeah, I know. I think RBA, we have a representative. I think let me give you a few minutes to say something, and then I can conclude the special vote of thanks. You know, the regulator is here. We can't afford to close the program before he says something. Yeah, so Karibu Mohammed.
Thank you for the opportunity, although I was ambushed, but it's all understandable. Group Managing Director, Dr. Jose Akili, and the service providers present today, employers, all protocols observed. Good morning. Hamjambo. Yes, I've been sitting in, although I came late. However, I've had the submissions made on behalf of the scheme, and we have taken note of them. From my end, this is one of the best performing schemes we have within regulation. In terms of risk score, it's one of the lowest in terms of risk score. That's why you see I have no presentation. So there is nothing for me to really point out. So indeed, your risk score is quite low in terms of investments, in terms of governance, and I believe the team here is doing a great work, good work, and I commend all of you for the good work. So with that, members, allow me to now allow that this session be closed. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
Yeah, that was very important. Otherwise, maybe our license will be threatened as we go back to office. So thank you very much, Mohammed. So I think I'd already mentioned about a few special vote of thanks. I did mention about our CEO for really growing the scheme. Members, I think this is the second year we are declaring super returns. If I'm not wrong, I think the other year, I think we did 15. Now we've done 13.7. Don't you think CEO amecheza kama yeye? Please, a round of applause to our GMD. Yeah, to all our sponsors, I think GMD had already mentioned them. I think let me just mention a few who are here physically. National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya. Thank you very much for availing yourself physically. KMC, National Mining Corporation, Autobook, Psychological Health Services, Polar Junior Group of Schools, Nyeri Polytechnic, Athletics Kenya, SIB, Kenya Reinsurance, and Sky Bristol Limited. Thank you so much for availing yourself physically for this AGM. But I'm told there are many others who have also logged in. I'm told we have over, I think, 400 who have logged in virtually. So great vote of thanks for all of you. It's very, very important. I think gone are the years when you go for an AGM and you only find old people with gray hair. When I look around, I see young people. So I salute you all because it shows you are cautious about retirement. Our service provider, trustee, special vote of thanks to you, Esther Karaoke, and your team. Fund manager, Esther Mushai from ICA Lion, special vote of thanks to you. Our custodian, Rachel, pass our regards to to the veteran Gideon Choka, special vote of thanks to entire team in Stanchart. APTAC, of course, represented today by SG Mwangangi, special vote of thanks to you. The SIB team, I think, who left early. We had, I think, Abdullahi. All members who've managed to join us today, a special vote of thanks to you all. I must mention to you that we do salute you. Thank you for the partnership, for all the sponsors who have been here today. Thank you for all the support. The scheme will not have recorded super normal growth if it was not for your contribution. Lastly, again, want to thank the team within CPF Group who have really steered this growth. I think GMD had already recognized all of them, the team in BD, and basically the entire workforce in CPF. I know a lot of you have played a big role in growing the scheme, because the advantage when the scheme is big, we have what we call economies of scale, which gives us then the propensity to undertake certain investment which will not have been possible if we were a young scheme. So as we conclude today's business, let's carry the conversation forward and continue working together towards sustainable retirement for all members. Thank you so much, and be blessed as we exit the stage today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rono. You know, allow me to just read one of the questions that was asked, and there's already an answer. Someone was asking, could you please elaborate further on Rudisha? I wanted to tell you it's not Rudisha, it is what? Rukisha. And now the answer has been given. Let me read it for you, and thank you so much, George, for the answer. Rukisha is a payment service platform. You need to download it and start using it. You use it to pay your bills, just like how you pay with M-Pesa, and automatically 2% of what you're paying will go to your IPP, which is very good, I think, as the person sitting next to you, do you have Rukisha app? Kama hana, it's trouble. We must start here. I think it's important to keep saving, to keep doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from my end right here on stage. And I want us to just close in a nice, smart way, just like we started. And I want to request Peter to kindly come and close for us with a word of prayer. Then we can close this session. Karibu sana, kuja utufungie. Did I call Peter? Okay. It's okay. Welcome. Kindly come and close for us with a word of prayer.
Tusimame tafadhali. Tuombe. Baba, katika jina la Yesu Kristo, tunakushukuru adhuhuri ya leo kwa vile umekuwa nasi. Bwana, umetuwezesha kuwa na mkutano wa baraka, mkutano ambao umeenda vyema kama vile tulivyokuomba pale mwanzoni. Tunakushukuru Bwana. Asante kwa viongozi wa CPF na wale ambao ni watenda kazi, service providers, wale partners wote, wenza wote ambao tunatenda kazi na wao. Bwana, tunakabidhi hii scheme mikononi mwako Bwana, tunapoendelea kuipangia. Tunakabidhi mipango yote inayohusu maendeleo yake Bwana, na kuendelea kwake mikononi mwako, maana wewe ndio utakayewezesha hii scheme kuendelea kuhudumia watu wako. Bwana, tunapoondoka mahali hapa, nakabidhi kila mmoja wetu mikononi mwako, nikiomba baraka yako juu ya kila mmoja wetu. Uwe nasi leo na hata wakati tutakapokutana. Asante tena kwa kuwa nasi siku ya leo. Pokea sifa, shukrani zetu. Katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunaomba na kuamini.
Amen. Thank you so much, all members, guests. Asanteni sana, and God bless you as you exit. Asante.